don't know if it's me or maybe the time of year, or maybe it's just the ebbs and flows of LinkedIn, but it seems like there's been an increase in the pitch slapping on LinkedIn, whether that's the 18 paragraph long drunkalogue verbal vomit messages, or even some of the notes that are being attached to the connection requests. And again, it's Q4. People are trying to make one last push at maybe closing out the year with some additional sales, and maybe this spray and pray methodology that they're latching onto. Maybe they feel that's the answer. But I'm here to tell you it's not. But what you can do to not only reduce the amount of pitch slaps you get, but also what you should be doing specifically to connect better on LinkedIn. But before we get into that, starting next Monday, November 4th, I am hosting my final free LinkedIn workshop of the year. I do about 2 of these per year, one towards the beginning, middle of the year, and one towards the end, which is obviously coming up. It's from November 4th to November 8th from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. For right now, it's going to be Daylight Savings Time soon. It's live and recorded. So if you can't make it live or you're in a different time zone, you can always watch it on the replay. And the replays will be available until the following Monday, November 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So you have plenty of time to go back. And we're going to be covering how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, connecting messaging, content to publish on LinkedIn and how to do so, but also my 20-minute a day methodology to better leverage it. So if you're interested in registering, if you're watching on social media, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, all you have to do is go into the comments below and just type the word workshop, and I will send you the link in order to register. If you're listening on the podcast, just go to the description of this episode and you'll find the link to register there for free. So I wanted to go over a couple different examples of the messages that sometimes you get, but also the connection notes that you sometimes get, and what you should be doing when that does happen. Now, what I'll say to you is I wish there was a better way to prevent it, meaning a setting that can be turned off, but there isn't. But there are ways to, again, combat it so you get less of them. Now, there's 2 specific things that I wanted to go over today. The example of a pitch slap in a message from a connection that you have, and or someone looking to connect, that they're adding this pitch slap into add a note, which again, LinkedIn has put limitations on those for this reason. But here's what we can do to better protect ourselves. But I'm also going to go over the right way to send a message and the right way to add a connection note. So let's go over first the example of what you should not be doing as far as adding a note to a connection request. So recently I got one out of the blue, and I'm going to read it to you. And it said, "I found you while pursuing LinkedIn for people to send," and I am not making this up. This is verbatim. I am not making this up. "I found you while pursuing LinkedIn for people to send unsolicited messages to. Congrats on being the chosen one, Scott." I am not lying. Like, this is real. "I had a look on your site and I had a few ideas on how you can progress your online business past 100K MMR, as we did with Powered Media." MMR is monthly reoccurring revenue. And they finish with, "Should I share these ideas with you?" So what I can tell you is, no, I don't want you sharing those ideas with me. The fact of the matter is, this is not a way to add a note to a connection request. The fact that this person actually said while pursuing LinkedIn to send unsolicited messages to, congrats on being the chosen one, man, I mean, just absolute garbage. Now, if you were to want to add a note to a connection request, and I've talked about this before, number one, only send notes attached to connection requests to people that you actually know, meaning you know them in real life or maybe from your business past. Maybe you were recommended to connect with them. So maybe a coach, a connection, a colleague of yours mentioned you should go connect with this person. Let them know that I told you to connect. Or maybe you found them through a media source. Maybe you listened to that person's podcast. Maybe you saw a webinar of theirs. Maybe you attended a workshop or an online event. Maybe you read their book. Maybe you met them at a networking event or something. Mentioning one of those things is absolutely appropriate when you are adding a note to a connection request. So, what can be done about this? Well, when you get invitations on LinkedIn, you get invitations that he either have accept or ignore. I never ever hit the ignore button for someone that doesn't attach a note or is very genuine with their reach out. But someone like this, that example, I absolutely will ignore it, and I will let LinkedIn know that I do not know this person and they sent me a spam message. Because the fact of the matter is that if I was to accept this person into my network, guess what? They would then have access to all of my first connections, which means they will start pitch slapping all of them. And I need to take that responsibility on myself where I need to protect my connections. So again, if you get a pitch slap like this in a connection request with a note added, just hit ignore and move on. Now, going back to what I stated, what you want to be doing is exactly what I said. If you know the person, if you were suggested to connect with them through a mutual connection where you're mentioning that person, or you found them through some sort of media source or maybe an event that you attended. Now, when we talk about um, messages, okay? So back in June, a connection of mine sent me this message. Dear friend, with a link. You are invited to join us from the comfort of your home for an enlightening webinar. What the IRS doesn't want you to know about your retirement. Date, time, where, and then obviously here's the register. We look forward to your participation. I never responded back. I don't know why I got that. I've never spoken to this person before in my life, right? So don't assume that that is something that I want. Now, I got a follow-up. Hello. Just hello. Not Scott, just hello. How will taxes destroy your retirement accounts? What steps can you take now to safeguard your assets? Explore this short free digital book to understand the full impact. The new Holistic Retirement Digital Book, password, link, phone number, email, all that stuff. Why is this being sent to me? When you are messaging someone from the onset, the first time that you message them, never hit them with a sales pitch. Never pitch slap them. When you are looking to make an established connection on LinkedIn, you want to get to know the person. You want to find out about themselves, their business, their offerings, how you can collaborate, how you can help one another, how you can support each other's businesses. All of those things need to be taken into consideration. The fact that there are people out there now that are just spraying and praying in this way, it's not going to help you grow your business. People are wanting to be connected with, not pitched and sold to. So when you are reaching out to someone, there should be no hidden agenda. It should say, hey, Scott, great to be connected to you. I noticed that we shared a common business background in XYZ industry or XYZ profession. I would love to hear how things are going with you, share more about how things are going with me and what I'm working on, and how we could potentially support each other's businesses here on LinkedIn. Anytime for a call or a Zoom this or next week. I've stated their name in a relaxed fashion. I created a connection point and a relatability point between myself and that other person. But also, I let them know that let's explore how we can support each other, how we can grow our businesses together, and then a direct call to action. When is good for you? That is the proper way to reach out to someone that you do not know. When you don't know them, you don't hit them over the head with a pitch slap. You don't send them an 18 paragraph long drunkalog verbal vomit message. That is just going to ruin the experience for that person, but it's only going to hurt you in the end. So when you get something like this, I actually remove this person as a connection. So I will click on their profile, I will go to more, and I will remove as a connection. And I will make sure they're unfollowed as well. And then I move on. So you have to understand that we have a responsibility on LinkedIn to make sure that we're protecting our network, we're protecting our connections, and more importantly, we're protecting ourselves from these spammers, from these people that are just pitch slapping us and trying to sell and pitch without any care or concern to actually get to know us as a human being and as a business professional. So before we close today's training and today's episode, again, if you would like to attend my free LinkedIn 5-day workshop, it's called the Amateur to Expert in 5 Days on LinkedIn, Monday, November 4th through November 8th, 1 to 2 p.m. EDT, live and recorded. If you're watching on social, just type the word workshop in the comments below. Just drop the word workshop in the comments. Obviously, I'll go back and check, and I will send you the link to register for free. If you are listening on the podcast, make sure that you go to the description of this episode, and you'll see the link right there where you can register for absolutely free. So I hope you enjoyed today's training on how we can stop the pitch slapping on LinkedIn and also how to make sure that you get less of it. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you next time.